Tomorrow we begin the Canning Stock route. So why all the fuss?
You got to give it a name, Robbie. Andrew,
Your mama.
has it already got a name?
Yes. The Range Rover. Well, let me think. It's the world's longest cattle route. About 1,850 kilometres, 1,100 plus miles off-road. But it's not just an off-road route. There are only two escape routes on the entire distance. The first one is about 830 kilometres from the start. So something goes wrong, well, it's a problem. Cars, trucks, breakdown vehicles can't access the track. You need a highly mobile, high-performance, off-road, four-wheel drive. At a point about 150 kilometres short of halfway, one can get water and fuel. On the second bit, there is another escape route, but it's only about 150 kilometres, 2 days driving or so, from the halfway point. So the last section is 800 plus kilometres, again with no escape routes. The other problem that is facing us is a big unknown, and that is the fact that the track has been closed for 2.5 years and therefore has had no traffic on it. How overgrown is it going to be? Has the rain washed parts of the track away? Are the wells that we need for water going to even work? All these things are ahead of us, and we are trying to complete it in a vintage Land Rover product. Right, now you see why I'm looking a little worried.
This is the worst time of day for driving, especially into the sunset. So just take it easy.
June 22 in Western Australia. I'm on the road for what should be an epic journey, and an epic test too, to drive a 46-year-old Range Rover on what is arguably Australia's longest and toughest off-road track, no less than 1,800 kilometres off-road. But to get to its start, we must drive for 4 days, 2,600 kilometres, and that's where you find us now. And the three vehicles that the Range Rover will be supporting on this epic journey are some old Hilux with some stuff bolted to the back, Nissan Triton, I think it is, and my fantastic troop carrier, the hero of the show, and we hope. And yesterday we had a good day, a little more than 800 kilometres. Today we're hoping a little more, if these lazy bastards get up. The people involved in this mad dash I'll introduce to you later. It's a long way to go. The other part of this adventure worth noting is that we have no camera crew. We are not backed up by a big broadcast organisation. In essence, we're on our own. And we're not off to a particularly good start. There's already something wrong with the Range Rover. Rob has a knock. I'm going to do a diagnostic drive. When we came in last night, there's some knocking sound. So I'm going to drive it, that section. It's corrugated and rough. I'm going to see what's real clunky. Let's see what we can do. Yeah. Rob will be the main driver of the Range Rover, although I plan to do a reasonable amount in it as well. This then is Rob Stokes. He was born about 15 miles from where the Range Rover was built. Yeah, it's the official t-shirt. Near Solihull, Birmingham, England. At the time it was built, he was being chased out of pubs for being too young. Rob described the Range Rover's rattle as a heavy clack. Tell me something, is this a banging? Is it a clack or is it a banging? Notwithstanding the noise and rattling of the tank, there is something wrong. Difficult to diagnose given all of the sounds coming from the loading area. I'm hearing a boo,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah,
and you can feel it through the seat of your pants.
It's quite
Something
solid
is
boat.
loose in the back there.
tried
One of the wheels is loose, the tank is loose. It's a heavy thing that's hitting the chassis and sending a thing through the car. You agree with me?
Because that's what I'm hearing, is it coming through the chassis.
Yeah.
The trip we have ahead of us is hard for any four-wheel drive, let alone one this old. Our self-imposed rule is that while there are people and vehicles supporting the trip, the Range Rover must carry all its own fuel, including an additional 200 litres in a great big tank, 2 spare wheels, and all spare parts.
It comes straight through the seat of your pants. I just want to rock the car left to right as hard as we can.
Stop. The shocky is loose and about to come off. What? See that there? The bottom bolt of the shocky.
Do it again. Yeah, we've lost the bottom bolt of the shock absorber.
Yeah.
Okay, stop.
Oh, it's good that we did not drive the track out.
This is John Graber.
It's missing screw or bolt.
No.
It's good that you know the technical terms.
He's driving that Mitsubishi Nissan thing. And apart from not knowing the difference between a bolt and a nut, he's German. And that's a worry because...
And it looked like the nut had fallen off, but what happened is the nut is still on there.
this is Heineklamen.
Washer missing that compresses the rubber. And we found the nut inside the rubber with a lot of movement. This would have been quite a big damage, I think, after a while. Especially on corrugations, but yeah. Now we can try to fix it. Johnny, have you got some spanners for me?
I sure do.
And he's German too. And this worries me only a little bit, actually more than the Range Rover's condition.
So Andrew, did you do a bolt and nut check before you left with the car?
We did thousands of checks before I left the car. But I think that particular shock absorber is one thing that we didn't check.
Does look a bit like it.
Scares me to death.
It scares me because we've only done about 12 kilometres of gravel, but these German folk have absolutely no faith in British engineering. I don't have any faith in it either. That's why we're both driving Japanese four-wheel drives. But I'm sure that won't stop them from picking holes in it. So Rob and I must make sure that we stick to the facts.
This doubles up as an anti-50s voice.
Early Range Rovers had a very, very nice drop-down tailgate and a very, very horrible upper tailgate that doesn't stay closed on lumpy roads. They never did, and this one isn't. So it's behaving just like a brand new car. There were actually plans not to drive it up to Broome and actually have it trucked up to Broome and then travel from Broome down, but it was actually a good idea that we drove it up here because we can identify problems now. We know what the vehicle's doing, we know how it sounds, etc. So when a sound like this, oh, that's abnormal, we can act upon it, which is what has happened here. End of day 3 driving. We've got about, I guess, 80 k's to a designated campsite on this road. We have heard a number of reports that parts of the Canning are underwater. When we get to Halls Creek, we will speak to the locals. We'll also speak to some people down in the southern part and try and get an update on the track. We are particularly worried about the southern section because they've had a number of storms and apparently it's underwater. Well, we'll see what happens as we go.
This is Broome on the north coast, the largest town closest to the start of the route, therefore the place where we'll get the cheapest fuel.
That's 197. That's on the separate tank inside. Can't squeeze any more.
We'll fill up all our tanks, including our extra jerry cans. I'm carrying one in the back of the troop carrier.
I want to see you spill that.
I know you do. I know you do.
You should be close, it's 20 litres. Oh, it's the big moment. Ooh. Well done.
Focus shook one off before.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect that with a man your age. No dribbling.
This is the theme of this film.
No dribbling?
No, not dribbling.
Because you're dribbling a lot.
Oh, it's down to me now.
Okay. Alright, this is probably the biggest fill-up of the trip. You nearly tripped over. The next big fill-up will be Halls Creek. Will be a top-up, not a fill-up, but then we'll have a similar kind of fuel fill-up at Kanaruichi, which is well 33, in the middle of the canyon. So we've got to do this twice.
But earlier this afternoon, the Range Rover developed another fault that we need to attend to.
Today, around lunchtime, the water temperature gauge stopped working. But the oil temperature is showing high temperature, but without having a water temperature gauge working properly, it's difficult for us to.
The water temperature seems to be alright.
I think the water temperature is alright, but
yeah, I mean, and the sensor's alright as well. I've been measuring, so the resistance goes up slowly,
yes,
which it should, because
exactly.
now it's getting colder
Exactly.
and colder, so the
Yes.
resistance is going up.
An almost 11-hour drive yesterday has brought us to the coast. We're now heading east, and today we've got about another 10-hour driving day. Something close to 1,200 kilometers still to go before we start the Canning Stock route.
And luckily the route there will take us through a part of Australia that is particularly scenically beautiful, the Kimberley. We're going to Wild Camp, and we have to find somewhere to do that. So I've been charged with finding the campsite for the night, and I know exactly where I'm going to go. Actually, I don't know exactly where I'm going to go, but I think in amongst those trees with that backdrop will be fabulous and flat. Thinking about this area here to the left of me, it's fairly flat.
Wherever you feel is good, Andrew.
There's a lot of firewood, it's ready burnt.
That's a good part, it's dry. Nice and dry.
First of all, I need to go this way. Yeah.
Yeah, because you were about to show me something. What have you got in your hand, Andrew? The other way around?
Let me know when you want water.
1.5 years of planning and preparation all comes down to this. We're at Halls Creek, topping up water and of course all the fuel containers we are carrying. So far I've used about, oh God, here he comes.
Oh,
Let me know when you want to cut it off.
Yeah.
it's coming. Still coming.
I'm not saying anything.
How's the plumbing, Andrew?
Okay.
Okay, water's off. You want more water?
How's the plumbing?
Any dribbles?
None. See, none at all.
Bloody hell, well done.
I absolutely live for this. The sun is heading towards the horizon. We've got a campsite to find. We're in the middle of the bush. Nobody else around except my mates. Life doesn't really get much better than this. Finally, we've done it. We are on the Canning Stock route in our attempt to cross the world's longest cattle route and to take a 46-year-old Range Rover to decide, have modern four-wheel drives got any better? That Range Rover is like 100 loose rivets flying in close formation. Are they the same? Or are they worse? This could last the entire day.
John, I'm going to hang back a little bit so I can get some distance again.
Had these camels do this.
They get this single one-track mind, and they will run along the track. They will not get off the track for an hour. This is what they do. We could actually get to well 33 and he could still be in front of us.
Camels can actually die from exhaustion, so it's actually important that I force him to leave the track.
What do you think of that drive, eh?
You are so small.
That's a oh, this is so good. It's so good.
That bit,
Yeah.
it's memories.
Oh,
That
no.
bit where the camera, I was fiddling trying to get it set up. I couldn't get the recorder on because it looked absolutely brilliant from back here.
I did. Time for some drawvorse, a nice cold Coke.
Due to COVID travel restrictions, the route has been closed for over 2 years and is actually about to reopen officially. And while we do have written permission to do it, even so, a question remained. How would the locals welcome us? Outside the closed town of Bilaluna, we stopped, and to our delight, we were greeted by a local elder. We didn't film it. I didn't want to impose.
How good is that? Yeah, it's such a vindication that we should be here. The local people welcoming us, smiles across their faces. Welcome. This is my land. This is just pride, and you are welcome. Perfect timing.
Not only did he welcome us, but suggested a campsite about 20 kilometers away at Stretch Lagoon. To get there, we'd need to pass through the last of the huge cattle stations crossing the route. From here, 800 kilometers or so, until we see signs of human habitation again.
The things I have to do because you won't share your shower.
Git.
Freezing cold. In Australia.
Of course I let him use my shower. I just don't turn on the boiler.
Ooh. Yep, that's fresh. Can't get any better than this. There's my old mate Andrew.
It's time now to share with you some details about the 4 vehicles in our convoy. My vehicle is a 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser VDJ 78. That's the troop carrier. It has a 4.5 V8 turbo diesel engine. I'm carrying 180 litres in its 2 standard tanks and an extra 20 litres in a jerry can in the back. My water measures around 110 litres. It has barely 11,000 kilometers on the clock.
I'm driving a 2014 Toyota Hilux SR with a 3-liter turbo diesel engine, a 5-speed automatic gearbox. I've got about 210,000 kilometers on the clock now. 154-liter fuel tank, 20-liter jerry, another 20-liter jerry with John, and it's a 90-liter water tank and another 20-liter jerry can for water as well. That's the setup for this car.
So I'm in my 2013 Mitsubishi Triton. It's a 2.5 litre turbo diesel. I have 140 litres onboard fuel, and then I have another 40 litres of a reserve. And I have about 56 litres of water on board for this trip. So not carrying that much water, but I do have a water filtration system with me as well, so I can actually fill up from anywhere on the track.
I'll do it with you because it's my car.
Partly your car.
Our car.
for the journey.
For the journey, definitely our
Yeah.
car. Actually, for the journey, it's your car.
It is.
A 1975 built Range Rover 3.5 V8 petrol engine.
Yep.
How much fuel are you carrying?
About 200 litres in the back,
Yeah,
and then we carry a standard tank.
80 litres in the
litres,
standard
so
tank.
280.
Yes, and no water.
No.
I'm carrying your water,
Yep.
but this is carrying a lot of spare parts.
Well, every spare part.
Far
we
more
Yeah.
than would be for even a normal trip in
Yeah.
a normal vehicle.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of spares.
We've even got a radiator.
We've even got a spare radiator, which is on the front
Just
seat.
there.
To put it briefly, we have 1,850 plus kilometres of wilderness. And when I say wilderness, I'm really talking about wilderness in the true sense of the word. I can't think of a track anywhere that is this long and this remote. There probably are some, but I don't actually know of them. When I talk about remote, I'm talking about no settlements, certainly no facilities to get fuel, water, spares, or really help of any kind. Halfway through, pretty close to halfway, is a very small settlement where we can pick up fuel. If it wasn't for that, we would have to carry, well, basically we will empty all our fuel by the time we arrive there. So we are all running on the edge of our fuel range ability.
We've been basically tracking the fuel consumption of all 4 vehicles on the drive up here, and as kind of expected, Triton's best on fuel at the moment. Hilux is coming in second with 12.5 litres, and then out of the both V8s, they're both the same at 15 litres per 100.
The canning stock route is not really a vehicle breaker, but it does test them to the limit, but it is definitely a trailer breaker. It has broken vehicles and it will break trailers. That's why we didn't even consider pulling trailers. And of all of the challenges that we have today, I see there are 2 main challenges. The Range Rover, we've got to keep it running, and secondly, fuel reserves.
I don't know how you survived for so long.
Yeah, so we ready to go now then? Hey you!
Hello?
Shit face, you ready to go?
What are you saying, mate?
Oh, we go now.
Well, I reckon we should get on the bloody road, mate, because traffic's going to get
Traffic's
dire,
gonna be
mate.
up
If you leave it much later, you're going to hit all the traffic, and they're all going to be going the same bloody way. Not going to move.
And everybody's going to be in the fast lane.
Yeah, move, get out of the way.
This is gonna be a long trip.
Not a vehicle breaker, you say? I've actually been getting the age of the Range Rover wrong all along. If it was built in 1975, that makes it 47 years old this year. Older than John and Heiner.
What is it, a lizard?
It's a Toyota Prado 150. In 2017, it was a newly burnt wreck, now rusted through.
So Rob's just found the actual bash plate from the vehicle, which will work probably a lot better to make another bash plate to extend my current one so that we don't have sticks going through my radiator. That's a good idea. Because the track is a lot more overgrown than expected.
That looks a bit thick, Andrew.
I can't get out to clear it.
Hold on, I'll see if I can come through.
It's the perfect track for car lovers. If you really like your paint, you should come here.
This is going to damage cars. don't remember this. The bush is so thick. I remember a little bit of this at the southern portion of the track, but not in the dune fields, which means that we can expect this kind of driving for the next 3 or 4 days.
Oh look, and my mirror is gone.
Well, I have to clean out my airbox tonight. There'll be so many leaves that got sucked in through the snorkel.
I was just about to say I've got some weed stuck in the front of my car. I think you're worse off.
The aircon's working. Oh, I got a couple of slaps in the face.
Hello, I'm a bit too loose for this trip.
Yeah. So what's he saying? Go through or not?
Alright, let's go.
There are 51 numbered wells on the Canning Stock route. This is well 51. We'll count down from here. We have brought equipment with us, including a welder, in order to repair some of the wells, should they be, well, in a state of disrepair. In 2017, this was a fully functioning well. A terrific storm must have come through to do this much damage.
After a thorough inspection of the well, we don't have enough equipment to fix this one.
We are approaching the vast dune fields of the Canning Stock route. Time to put up our dune flags and consider what lies ahead of us. And while I've done the Canning Stock route before, this feels quite different.
It doesn't feel as if I've done it before. It still feels new.
But it also feels a little scary. If the undergrowth gets much worse than it is now, it could stop us in our tracks. Time to fly the drone and get a better look.
So if I look at that there, the picture, the road definitely sweeps to the west of that very heavy area of heavy undergrowth. We might actually not have to drive through that, which would be good.
But the drone is only revealing 10 or so kilometers. We have hundreds of kilometers to go. It's also time now to find a campsite. In the lee of one of these hills would be good. We found a nice hill. Nice views and everything. But the clearing is not in the lee of the hill. Oh well, can't have everything.
What did you say?
It's just full of surprises, isn't it?
Today?
All that we've come through. There's nothing either side of the road.
No, that would be
And
like
then
3 hours of nothing to camp.
just bang. Middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
Perfect campsite.
right at 4 o'clock.
It was even on time, yeah.
Yeah, even on time.
Andrew,
Yeah.
when we get to well 3, is that where the police are hanging out to move people on?
Well, 3.
Yeah, that's where the police hang around, isn't it?
Yeah. What?
Well, what's going on here then?
Jeez, that is low even for
Oh
you.
no, that is low even for
That
you.
could get worse.
Even for you.
Heino was right. It's going to be a long trip. I want to walk somewhere to take a picture of our camp. I like to do every morning. I like to just go somewhere and take a picture of a camp. The trouble is that Spinifex is so prickly. Walking in this stuff is like oh, this is a challenging metaphor. Is like walking through a bed of angry wasps.
It's just not an exciting day. The wind has got quite cold and quite intense. For me, I know I need to check the Land Cruiser's undersides, but John is fitting more rusty parts to his Nissan.
Well, we've got a small gap here between my bull bar and the bash plate that I would like to cover because the amount of sticks and stuff that are on the track at the moment, I just don't want to have any damage to my radiator. So we found a bash plate from the burnt out wreck that fits, so I'm going to make it, retrofit it to make it work.
You mad impulsive boy. The fact is that yesterday we had a very tough day in tall grass and a badly overgrown track. And we all need to prepare for more of that today.
A little bit of protection on the front, stop all the grass and God knows
What a great
else
idea.
getting in there.
So, it's a South African product. It's quite a good one, really. Hooks on the top. I did modify it, I admit, from the original design. I made it a little bit better. Today we've got to try and make, as I said, 100 kilometers a day. I think yesterday was 140 something. Today I'd be surprised if we hit 60. You know, sometimes it's so important just to stop and take in your surroundings. Look at this place. Absolutely brilliant, so beautiful and incredibly remote. And the track is becoming more and more difficult to follow because people will just haven't driven it for so long, adding to the challenge. This morning the challenge has been grass. Enough of it collects around the exhaust pipe and the vehicle can catch fire. So I've got the DPF there and an area just behind it where the grass is impacting. If that thing goes off with that grass there, I've got to keep an eye on that. That's not good.
I've got some more.
Clearing the undersides of our vehicle is probably going to become a regular ritual on this trip.
Andrew's all given us one of these, so if we do have a fire underneath the vehicle, we can put it out quickly without having to use our fire extinguishers.
The fact is, in a grass fire, a fire extinguisher will put it out, but the trouble is once the fire goes out, it'll reignite because you've still got the source of ignition, i.e. the heat of the exhaust and the grass. So the idea behind this is that you can climb underneath the vehicle and squirt up underneath the vehicle, and it'll cool it down. Because it'll cool it down, it'll actually put the fire out. So it's actually more effective than a traditional fire extinguisher. And I've got mine on my front. I know everybody's got theirs in a place in their cars. They're very, very easy to access very, very quickly. That's the point of them. So you can act extremely quickly. I think it's a very, very nice safety thing. And it's good for a shower too. If you wanted a quick shower, you put the nozzle on spray and you have a nice... I'd like to get a better view of the track ahead. The hills in the area make a good vantage point. And then I could also fly the drone to get a better look.
Just occurred to me why. We've done basically 9 months of planning for this trip. Water, fuel, spares, what you're going to get done on your cars, even down to clothes, medical supplies, food, everything. And even now we're going through sections we're having to question, are we going to have enough fuel? we've definitely got enough water, you know, and food and that kind of thing, but because there's been so few people down on this track, we're having to really calculate fuel and everything, make sure we can make it to well 33. So at some point later today, I would have thought, when the fuels are getting down a bit, that's when we have to make the call. At the moment, we're running through some really relative flat ground open plains, but we have been hitting some really overgrown tough to push through. You know, Andrew's taking the lead and his car's getting a battery as well, they all are. But yeah, it's just made me appreciate just how much planning you have to do before you do one of these. Just once in a lifetime trips, I suppose. It certainly is for me anyway. Beautiful. So we've come across a really tight spot now. Andrew's going to head his pushing through.
Lower section of Yarana. Thanks, John.
But he said it's really bad. The further it gets in, the worse it gets. Now he's gone right into there somewhere, and he's in amongst that bush. We're hoping he either finds a clear patch or at least somewhere to turn around and come back.
I'll do a report on how many kilometres we've done today. It's not been great. It hasn't been bad, but not terrible. And we've hit the dune fields, these amazing dune fields, and these are such fun to drive. These red dunes, and there are over 1,200 of them on the track.
The afternoon is a bit of a test of endurance. Endless rough track and very heavy undergrowth. I for one am really looking forward to a restful evening around the campfire.
So we just had a little bit of a celebration, and we all got into third gear. It's the first time for quite a while. Andrew was very happy. Let's see how long it lasts for. This old girl as well. Can't beat it. It's just,
I can just see you probably can't see it, the dune flag down there, and it hasn't moved in 10 minutes. So they're sitting struggling in that little spot. It's really rough, and an enormous hole in the road, and the bush is just insane. It's so tight.
The sight of the well and the camping spot ahead of us, I think, is a great relief to all of us. This is Well 43, not only known for its beautiful trees, but of the curious wreck of a Nissan Patrol.
The snap in the chassis here, and then coil towers right there. That's also got a big crack through it, and cracked as well. It's cracked all the way through.
Wow. I mean, look at the size of the trailer that was on there. It is huge.
That's probably what cracked it.
Yeah.
And the muffler.
As for the well, it's not in great shape either.
If you want to get really sick, you can drink that.
The cover has gone, but the winder seems to work correctly.
We did 88 kilometres today, which, for the kind of driving we did, I'm very pleased with. Honestly, thinking about it, I was reckoning 50 to 60 tops. Well, good morning. Having woken from an absolutely idyllic evening last night, it's raining. But everybody, well, most of the vehicles actually need work done on them. Let's see what needs to be done. So what work do you need to do on your car this morning?
Just put a clip around the CV boot. One of the clips has come off.
All right, John, work needed on your vehicle, all done?
Well, we did the bash plate at the front yesterday, which was very helpful, and then I've still got another bash plate underneath the car that's holding my gearbox, and wedged a stick under it because it's rattling a little bit.
What's the work you need to do, Rob?
Nothing. Zilch. Hi now.
Yeah, Robbie?
What you doing?
My CV boot clamp has disintegrated.
Oops.
After I put the other suspension in, that has happened twice before, and we thought we got on top of it by changing the lower control arms, but for some reason that little clip has come off again, which is an absolute pain in the ass, because now I don't have any other ones, and there's not enough clearance in here to put a hose clamp around it.
Forgot safety feature. These don't get stolen. Just close it. Nothing wrong with this car.
Being the lead vehicle, I'm picking up so many sticks and bushes that oh wow, an enormous eagle has made a nest under my car overnight. So ingenuity. This is John's broken aerial. He does have a spare, luckily, and a bit of tape and a welding rod to get this, try and get this eagle to go and find somewhere else to nest.
I'm gonna try to rig this up with wire rope and then tighten it and cut it as short as possible. Got no idea if that's gonna work or not. Okay. This might have fixed it.
Good job, Heiner.
Such a good position to work in. And this is my latest modification to my Hilux. If you hit bushes hard enough with your mirror, you can then take the mirror off and you can take it as a cup holder.
Time to refuel the car. Pump ready. Honnor's doing my switch for me. Got my outlet over there for a breather. I'll open that up, and then when we've finished all that, do a bit of dusting.
Dusting?
Yeah.
Why?
It's to make room for more dust.
Oh. Shit, it's falling apart, Andrew.
You see, Heiner has to resort to terrorist tactics to make the Range Rover look bad.
Perfect. Just like new.
Okay, safety first. Got my fire extinguisher ready. Safety cordon around the danger area. And we don't want Joe Blokes coming in, so make sure that they can see the warning beacon. And we should be safe to refuel.
John built us a special tank for the project, a 200-litre stainless steel baffled tank that is strapped into the back of the Range Rover, and this is the very first time we are decanting from it.
Yep, we have fuel.
This gives me a warm fuzzy, this does. All the planning actually comes down to this. Getting the Range Rover to carry enough fuel for the entire trip. We talked about jerry cans, we talked about different ways to keep it safe.
That tank's not moved, nothing.
There's a lot of dirt we accumulated through the snorkel.
Not too much dribbling for its age.
A bit of work needs to be done in here. I need a brush.
A little bit of a bacon and egg fry up. Breakfast.
Bacon and eggs for breakfast.
Andrew, did you cook something?
Yeah, cooked toast.
Yeah, I cook toast. Look at that.
Are we ready to eat, Andrew? Stay seated, please. Stay seated.
Breakfast, sir?
I say yes, and bring it right here.
Would you like it on the table or your lap?
Oh, lap. Where there's no table.
One moment.
I wish I hadn't said lap.
There you go, sir.
I say it's jolly decent of you.
Hope that suits you, sir. And cutlery.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good morning.
What a git. I say, waiter, you've overcooked the fucking toast again.